Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to dive into a few absolutely powerful verses from the Quran's Surah Fāṭir. We'll explore how all of creation is like a sacred text and how our faith can be seen as the most profitable trade you could ever imagine. This wonderful material was compiled for us by Mir Ali Shah through the Living the Wisdom of the Quran podcast. So let's begin this journey together.
I seek refuge in God from the rejected Satan. In the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful.
So, the verses we're looking at kick off with this really simple but incredibly deep question. It's not just asking if our eyes are open, but if we are truly seeing, you know? It's an invitation to move from just passively looking at the world to actively reflecting on it. So what is it that we're being invited to see? Well, let's dive in.
You see, the Quran first points our attention outwards to the tangible, undeniable signs that are painted all across the canvas of creation. It's asking us to look at the world around us with fresh eyes, to really notice the divine artistry in things we might see every single day. Let's listen to the beauty of the original Arabic. Do you not see that God sends down rain from the sky, producing thereby fruits of varying colors? And among the mountains are streaks white and red of different shades, and others deep black. And of humankind, beasts, and cattle, their colors also differ. Only those of his servants who possess knowledge truly fear God. God is almighty and forgiving. What's just so striking here is this constant focus on difference, on variety, on color. And all of this observation is meant to lead us to a very specific spiritual state, khashya. It's this deep, reverential awe, the kind that only comes when you truly know something. Okay, so let's start with the first layer of meaning, the zahir, which is the apparent or literal meaning. For classical scholars like the great Ibn Kathir, this was just undeniable proof of God's power. Think about it. From one single source, plain old water, God brings forth this almost infinite variety of colors and tastes and shapes and forms. It's just incredible.
Right, so for these early scholars, the main takeaway was this. The rain is one thing, but look at all the different fruits. The mountain is one thing, but its veins, its jurud, are streaked with all these different colors. This physical diversity isn't just random, it's a deliberate show of the Creator's absolute power and wisdom. And the more you understand this artistry, the more you can't help but stand in awe of the artist.
But the Quran is never just about the world out there, is it? It's always a mirror for our own inner world. So that brings up the next question. What if these colors, the reds, the whites, the deep blacks of the mountains, are also a kind of map of our own souls? And that's where we get to the batin, the inner or hidden meaning. This is a perspective that's really central to the Sufi tradition. The idea is that the outer world is basically a reflection of our inner soul. So God's power in creating the world becomes a sign of God's wisdom in shaping our own spiritual states. And the Sufi master, Al-Qushayri, he just nails this idea. He says that just like rain produces different kinds of fruit depending on the tree it falls on, divine grace produces different spiritual states in us depending on how ready our hearts are to receive it. A heart might seem like a barren rock, but it can still have veins of red, a capacity for love, just waiting for that grace to seep in.
Then, the sage Najm al-Din Kubra takes this a step further, and it's just profound. He sees the mountain's colors as the colors of our own nafs, our own self. White represents our moments of purity and clarity. Red is for our passions, our desires, our struggles. And that deep black, that symbolizes the hidden, unexamined parts of ourselves. The spiritual journey, then, isn't about erasing these colors, but understanding them as part of the path up the mountain toward knowing God. Okay, so from this really deep look at nature, the verses then shift gears. They start talking about our actions, and they reframe things like our prayers and charity using this powerful metaphor, a business transaction, a commerce that you literally cannot lose.
Let's listen to these beautiful verses.
Indeed, those who recite the book of God, establish the prayer, and spend from what we have provided them, secretly and openly, hope for a commerce that will never perish, that he may pay them their wages in full and increase them from his bounty. Indeed, he is forgiving and appreciative. How beautiful is that idea? The word in Arabic is tijara. It's a trade. Think about it.
You're trading these fleeting moments, these temporary actions, for a return that is eternal and just keeps growing. So what exactly are we investing in this divine trade? Well, it comes down to three main pillars. First, reciting the Book of God, which connects us right back to the source. Second, establishing the prayer, which connects us to His presence in our day-to-day lives. And third, spending in charity, which connects us back to His creation. And that completes the whole circle. And leave it to the great master Ibn Arabi to frame this just perfectly. He says, this commerce is about bartering our fleeting moments and temporary actions for something that lasts forever, nearness to God. And get this, giving in secret isn't just about being humble. It's about the inner act of letting go of our attachments to wealth and to what people think of us. That's the real profit. So we've seen all this incredible diversity, right? In the world outside and in our own souls. But what's the point of it all? Where does it all lead? Well, in the spiritual worldview, every path of knowledge, whether it's science or mysticism, ultimately points back to one single unifying truth. It's fascinating because this idea of unity even shows up in some of the mystical sciences, like object numerology. As you can see here, while words for diverse things like fruits and mountains have their own numerical values, the key concepts that tie it all together, knowledge, fear, and trade, they all reduce down to the number 1. It's like a hidden mathematical signature pointing back to divine unity. From all that diversity comes oneness.
And you know what's really cool? This isn't just some ancient mystical idea. Modern science is actually echoing these very principles. Geology totally confirms why mountains have different colors. It's iron for the red and quartz for the white. Psychology confirms that the more you know about something, the more you feel a sense of awe. Even neuroscience is showing that practices like prayer and recitation literally change our brains to make us more focused and compassionate. It's just this beautiful coming together of faith and reason.
All right, so after all that, how do we make this real for us? How do we bring this incredible wisdom into our own lives? Let's just take a final moment to reflect on that.
Think about it this way. The rain that falls on your life, the good stuff, the tough stuff, none of it is ever wasted. It all has the potential to grow into something beautiful. The only question is, what kind of fruit are you going to cultivate? So I invite you, maybe just for today, to really look at the colors around you, in nature, in people, in ideas, and let all that amazing diversity teach you about a creator who absolutely loves it. And don't forget that divine commerce. Every sincere moment of reading, every heartfelt prayer, every little bit you give, whether people see it or not, is an investment. It's the one deal in the entire universe with absolutely no risk and infinite gain. It's a trade that enriches your very soul. Let's end with this beautiful supplication inspired by these verses. O originator of colors and tones, wash my heart with your rain of mercy. Make me of those who know you, and therefore tremble in awe. Amin. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into these incredible verses.